You know, consistency is key in business to experience growth. We always have this tendency to sit back and just kind of hope and wish and want that our pursuits will just happen, that our goals and our dreams and our plans will just somehow manifest into our life, or that our businesses will experience growth. Just hopefully somehow, some way, we'll wake up one morning and they'll be bringing us in the income we want, the results that we desire, and the exposure and the expressions that we want from our companies. And it just doesn't happen that way. Consistency is the key to growth. I read this quote the other day that success is not determined by the things we do occasionally, but by the things we do consistently. And I really want to impress that on you because that hit me, and I know that, and I've been studying that, but it's so powerful to realize that these plans, these dreams, and these goals that we have, these wants that we have within us, don't just happen. And they don't just happen because we go after them really hard one day and put a lot of effort into it and front load it. They happen because we consistently show up day after day after day and put in that effort. Now, don't let that overwhelm you. It's not that you have to give this amazing, massive amount of action every time. If you can, you're going to be better off for it, right? If you put massive action towards something consistently, of course you're going to speed it up and you're going to get it to come to fruition faster for you. But it's really about showing up every day and just adding a little bit of effort into it, a little bit of planned effort. And that's key as well. You have to have a planned effort, so you have to know why you're doing the work you're doing and what results you're going to get out of the work that you're doing. You can't just blindly throw effort towards it. We have to have progress, which progress is steadily moving forward. It's not just busy work. But what I want to impress on you is that consistent action day after day, or week after week, or however often you can focus on it. You have to put consistency behind it. And so if you have a plan or a purpose or a business that you're trying to grow, it's just about doing something time after time after time consistently to watch it grow. You can't just put a lot of effort into it and then step away and then come back and say, hey, how did that do? Did it give me any results? Did it bring anything to me? It won't happen that way. But if you say, all right, for the next month, I'm going to consistently do little things on this, then maybe after a month of doing the work, you can come back and look at it and say, wow, there are results here now. I see that it's built upon itself and has started to gain the traction and the exposure that I wanted it to have. And so remember that success is not determined by what we do occasionally, but by what we do consistently. And so take your plans and your purposes and write them out and focus on the ones that are your biggest priorities and say, how can I add value and effort to these things consistently? What are the smallest steps that I can do consistently to these that I know I can stick to and actually build into my schedule and be consistent with? And then what are the biggest steps that I can take as well that maybe I can do those occasionally? Because you can throw a big step in the process once in a while, and that'll get you way more results than those little tiny consistent steps time after time after time. But you have to have that consistency with those big steps to make it actually work, to make it actually stick, to make it actually do what you want it to do. So catch yourself. Are you dreaming and hoping and wishing and wanting that things will just happen for you? Do you just have these visions that you just hope someday you'll wake up and they'll be a reality in your life somehow because you want them bad enough, because you think on them enough, because you maybe did one thing towards their attainment at some point in your life? It doesn't work that way. Consistency is key. And so don't overwhelm yourself. If you're spread too thin, just say, what are the smallest possible steps I can do consistently to these priorities in my life? But do something every day, every week if it has to be, but consistency to your own planning. So don't want, don't wish, don't just hope that someday these things will show up in your life, or that someday your business will be making you the money you dreamed of, the income you hope for, that'll have the exposure you're looking for. Go do something consistently to earn that. You know, Charlie Munger said, the universe is not yet a crazy enough place that it gives a bunch of people what they desire rather than what they deserve. So we have to go earn what we desire. We have to go become the kind of people that deserve what we want out of life. So go consistently work towards that exposure you want in your business. Reach out to people day after day, or whatever it is, whatever your plan of action is, do it consistently. And go determine the number of income, the amount of income, the money that you want to bring in, the number of sales you want to bring in with your company, and go work towards that day after day after day consistently, even if it's a small step. But if you have that goal and you know you're consistently working towards it, you'll achieve it. Someday you will wake up and you'll be making the income that you want. You'll have the exposure you want. You'll have the number of sales you desire for your company if you've been working towards it consistently. But if you're just hoping and wishing and wanting, it'll never happen. So formulate your plan, step out into it, and go do it consistently. And I will see you on the next one.